Okie doke. Goodness. All right, let's see. Where's the beef? Where's the beef indeed? We'll start this all over again. Let's get this going. Pop out my chat here. There we go. Pop out chat. Let's start this all over again. So that was a YouTube glitch. That was not anything that happened on my end. That is exactly what happened on YouTube's end. So, all right, let me start all over again. I sound like crap. I look like crap. I feel like crap. So if I need to, I'm going to hit that was the cough button. So you can't hear me gagging and coughing. I also have a beverage of choice here. So I want to say thank you for converting over. That was very nice of you. Don't know what happened there. But anyways, let's go to CPI. Let's go to futures first. Let's start all over. Futures, look at this. Let me share a screen with you. NASDAQ's up over 4%. Is it still up over 4%? That was before, even higher, 4.29%. Dow's up almost 2.5%. S&P's up 2.5%. Okay, so it's a normal day, yeah. It's a normal day. Now look, here's the deal. CPI came out. CPI index, broad-based index of all the inflation that everything comes out. Always blaming other people. That's Mo. Yeah, definitely blaming other people. Make me have to go and try to figure out all the YouTube stuff. I don't even know how to do any of this back-end stuff. But the thing is, when you reuse links, they get confused and there's glitches. And there you have it. The Consumer Pricing Index, broad-based measure of goods and services, increased 0.4% in a month, 7.7% from a year ago. Estimated was 7.9%. So it was better than expected. So better than expected. So now, yay. Things are great out there. Interest rates, we should probably do a reversal now at this point, don't you think? I'm being sarcastic. So-called core CPI increased 0.3%, 6.3% on an annual basis versus the estimated 6.5%. That's when you strip out the food and energy costs. A 2.4% decline in vehicles. Used vehicles helped. Apparel fell 0.7%. Medical care costs fell 0.6%. Investors are, this is from State Street Global Advisors. Investors are still gullible if they think that they're going to get some type of Powell pivot. I agree with that. There's no Powell pivot that's coming. And if there is, then that's just plain old stupid. So, all right, let's move on. I don't really have anything else to say about this. It's going to be a wacky day on Wall Street. Wall Street has been waiting for this day for a while. People wanted to get over the elections, and now people wanted to get over CPI. The next meeting for the Fed will be December 12th and 13th. That's when maybe it's 12th, maybe it's 13th and 14th, whatever it is. In the middle of December, we're going to start talking about rates again pretty soon here. So that's exciting. But let's get into more stuff that I'm interested in. I'm not CPI. I don't really care. Inflation is what it is. It's staying high. They can say whatever the hell they want to say about what's happening with inflation, and yay, this is good. It's not good. Inflation will probably come back up, and the reason is going to be why. Look at what's happening energy costs are still on the rise. You use the strategic reserves to suppress gas prices for quite some time, and those have officially run out. So, you have diesel fuel that's in crisis. It's the 14th. Thank you, Tarek. Okay. The crypto stuff. And I'm going to pull up some charts here because today is I feel like talking about charting kind of day. And I'll give you my thoughts on Disney in a second. To be honest, my thoughts on Disney are not earth shattering, but they should. It's the same as it was during COVID. It's the exact same as it was during COVID. All right. So let's go to, first of all, I want to look at QQQ. Okay. This is the NASDAQ. I'm just going to pull up the long-term chart. If you look at QQQ, this was COVID right here. Get the pencil going. We are sitting at where my dashed white line is at a very, very strong support level. And that is about pretty much the last strong support level that you have. And that's about 263. where we closed the day yesterday. Of course, it's going to open up a little bit higher. But if we break through this 263 number, your next big support level is right around here. Let me see what that is. 245 or something, 245. And then after that, COVID happened so quickly, just like that, so fast that you are not going to have a lot of support in there. This thing will fall like a flying crowbar down to these COVID levels, which is about 160 on the QQQ. What is about 6,500 on the NASDAQ, something like that. The problem is you have your support here, you have your support here. There was no support in here. There were no W's created. There was no levels of consolidation created where you went up like that and went sideways, went up like, it was just influx of trillions and trillions of dollars, and all of a sudden, boom, this thing just skyrocketed. Yeah, this guy just said, I'm holding on to my QQQ till I make my money back. So you're going to make your money back. As soon as this thing breaks below 263, it's going to drop to about 245, and then after 245, it's coming to 160. It's going to happen. That's just how support and resistance work. Now let's pull up this FTX Binance US dollar thing. So this is disruptive. I cannot argue with this statement. So this was the greatest thing since sliced bread. It was so credible that major league umpires across the major leagues had FTX all over their uniforms. They had these badges on their chests because they were sponsored, and on their sleeves because they were sponsored by FTX because they were so great. And now all of a sudden, boom, this thing has fallen. People are now saying that this is like Lehman Brothers. Well, it's not like Lehman Brothers. There's no way it's going to be like Lehman Brothers. It's more like the .com. This is just one of them. You're not going to collapse a global, even a United States economy on crypto. Do you agree with Paul that the S&P will be lower 10 years from now? That is not what Paul said. That is not what Paul said at all. Okay, where were we? The crypto crap. All right, so this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, was considered an industry leader and a lender of last resort. The media compared him to Warren Buffett and J.P. Morgan. Now, everything from FTX is toxic. Bankman-Fried, just 30 years old, lost most of his billions in dollars in wealth. So he went from my understanding, 14 or 15 billion down to less than $1 billion within a day or something like that. I don't really know, nor do I care. Binance cited mishandled customer funds and U.S. agency investigations. Now FTX is being compared to Lehman Brothers. Don't agree with that because this is not going to bring down an entire global economy. Cryptocurrency could tumble further after the. Oh, let's go to Bitcoin real quick. I do want to look at Bitcoin. So for those of you that believe in Bitcoin, you should be buying the heck out of this right now, right? I mean, this you're getting a heck of a deal. Yesterday, it dropped as low as 15,588. That is pretty cool. 15,588. I'm still up several hundred percent on my Doge since I gambled on it in 2020. Don't DCA into garbage, my friends. FTX disruption and inflation. Yeah, I had a lot more to say on this Bitcoin stuff. Now, here's something funny. Technical analyst Tom DeMark says Bitcoin could be as low. The low could come as soon as Friday. Now, let me tell you something here. So you're trying to tell me that Bitcoin is this ultimate hedge against inflation and chaos and wars and all this other nonsense that you say, right? Not you probably, but you as in you bozos out there that like this crap. But what we've seen is that it's not a hedge. It's not a hedge against anything. It's actually a hedge against you getting wealthy. And what it is it's a market that, and it's a, I don't even want to call it an asset. It's a fugazi that follows the rest of the market, right? Okay. So if the market is going to go lower, that means that this is going to go lower. So for you saying that Bitcoin is going to be a low, this guy, Tom DeMark, analyst of DeMark Analytics, guy who runs his own fund and he's trying to cheerlead his own investments. Imagine that. He says that we're going to have a low of, what was that number? There's a buy, 14, that's it. 14,877. So 14,877. So after 14,877, once it gets there, basically 100 points from yesterday or 1,000 points from yesterday, that's when it's actually going to be a hedge. So at that point, it will switch and Bitcoin will become a hedge against everything. And as the market falls, Bitcoin is going to go up. So that is what he's saying. Also, this is nonsense here. Subject to various conditions, when the countdown reaches 13, so every time something hits 13, it's a bottom. This is why people. This is where backtesting gets a bad rap. This guy, every time it hits 13, something happens. So every time that it is sleeting outside and in an odd year, and where the Chinese New Year, the animal or creature or whatever thing is a rat. And a NFL football team with the mascot starting with a B, that's when the market goes up, in those years only. And that's exactly what this crap is that this guy's saying. I can confidently tell you where Bitcoin's support and resistance are. Bitcoin is, let's go here. So sitting right here. So there is a very, very strong support level at the 16,000 level. And after 16,000, you're sitting somewhere around, I'll be a little bit, 12,000. 12,000 is your next area where you're sitting at that level. Also, some other chart that I wanted to hit, Amazon. Amazon can never go down, right? Well, let me show you something real quick here. This right here, my friends, is COVID. And where did Amazon close the day yesterday? Well, it closed the day right at COVID lows, right? Right at COVID lows. So for those of you that say that these stocks cannot go down back to COVID lows, well, Amazon just went down to a COVID low. The stock market will come down to COVID lows. Let's look at Tesla real quick. Tesla is getting absolutely annihilated. Let's find where COVID was. I'm sure it's not even close to where COVID was yet. Yes, COVID was all the way down here, so we don't have to worry about that with Tesla. But it has lost 50% of its value after being at about 420, where he was taking it public. Just kidding. 420. It closed the day yesterday at about 177, 178, somewhere in there. So that is pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. Let's see if I have any other news I want to talk about. Oh, Crashy Wood, 5-year lows with ARK. So that's cool. So her fund has only lost 80% from its February high, and also the fund is only down 63% this year. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think what's the market down 90% or something? So she's beating the market, right? That's sarcasm for those of you that don't know. Oh, and she snapped up more than 420,000 shares of Coinbase to double down. So if the inflows in there are still impressive, that's pretty good. So UBS, big bank out there, says that the bottom of the stock market will be at 3,200. So let's go to S&P. Just do this again. Always have to be doing this. S&P 3,200. Well, where is that? Right around here. So that's not even COVID low. So I'm sorry, the person who wrote this. It's going to go to 2,200. Maybe they meant 2,200, because 2,200 would be a lot more reasonable than 3,200. But this thing will absolutely come down to these COVID lows. It is just, listen, it's very simple, and there's no fear and doubt in this, and it's very simple. You shut down a global economy. You shut down an economy in the United States. You cannot do that without penalty. What you did was printed trillions of dollars to stimulate that, and that's shown right here. When you had a big fall because of right in here, what was this? This was fears that you had of job loss, supply chain issues, all of these just crazy issues. And finally, they are happening. They started happening right here. And why do they start happening right up here? Because all this way, you printed so much money that, you printed so much money that you just kept the market going. It just doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. So now you're facing the ramifications of COVID, and that will happen. It's pretty much as simple as that. Let's see if we have another story that we can do. Disney. People wanted to talk about Disney today. Look, Disney's parks and cruise lines are 45% of their revenue. If that doesn't, I think that people were putting way too much reliance on Disney Plus. Is it a great thing? Absolutely. Is it going to help the business a ton? Absolutely. You need to stick with, you need to make sure you're still driving your core business. You need to still make sure you're driving your core business, and that is parks and cruise lines. So executives were stunned investors with the forecast for a segment of operating income, which was very low. The outlook consensus was 34% growth from, what was this from? Single digit rate outlook compared to consensus performing. I don't know what they're talking about. Frankly, Disney, to me, it needs to go much lower. That's the bottom line. Some people are like, oh my God, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. I don't feel like looking at this moment in time. Let's go to Disney. Paul did a great video on Disney. I know that. So go watch that one. Meta lays off 11,000. ESPN is good though. Tesla to 150. Man, Tesla to $50. Trust me. It's going to happen. I want to take accountability for my decisions and how we got here. This is what Mark Zuckerberg said. I know it's tough for everyone. He laid off 11,000 people, gave them severance. So they had about 87,000 people working. Now they're going to have 76,000 people working for them around the world. The market cap has just been decimated from $1 trillion to about $250 billion. It's going to be very interesting. And the stock price went up yesterday. People were rather excited because they're actually cutting costs in places, which imagine that. But listen, the metaverse is cool. It's going to be a fun little thing, and we'll see if it actually takes off. And if it doesn't, in my opinion, they have cash to burn. So Tom Brady, I don't know what that means. 137 and lower. Would you support a gold-backed currency instead of the US dollar printer? I don't know. We're all in this together. You're fired. Mark Zuckerberg, aka Lizard King. Can't wait to buy S&P at 3,200. Yeah, that'll probably happen. Tom Brady is going to play until he's 60. I don't know about that one. They're going to pivot hard in a few months. Derek, I agree with you. They are going to pivot hard in a few months. Well, the stock market's open now. Let's take a look at what we have going on. For those of you that came on at the beginning, I appreciate you dealing with the mishap and coming over here. I'm going to look at this. NASDAQ's up over 5%. Holy moly. S&P is up over 3.5%. Dow is up 2.75%. So we're going to see what's going to happen today. Let's see where this shakes out. Don't get too excited right off the rip. I would wait. I'd wait another 25, 30 minutes, see what happens as things calm down, because this is a drastic reaction. Just be very, very careful for those of you trading today, and you will probably make some money, especially if you want to day trade. Go do it right now. Catch you later.